Only a day away from winter, folks, and we've got fruit trees and a dog lick in my hand. If you've got fruit trees in the garden, or even just ornamental trees in the garden, through winter period, there's not a lot that you need to do, but one important thing you must do is feed your trees, get them ready for the spring growth. If they're flowering or fruiting varieties, either way, they need to be fed from now, because when you see the growth in springtime, the growth has already happened underground, meaning the roots have already started to grow the new feeder roots before they start to push blooms and fruit on top, and leaves obviously. So feeding them very late in winter is always, I find that it's always a little bit too late to get those nutrients you need in there. Yes, the tree later on will take it all up regardless, but you want to give them a good chance to start off straight away in springtime. So by feeding early winter, and you can start anytime now for advanced trees, sweetheart, it's not about you anymore. No. Ah, that hurts. Get it off. It's not about the dogs, it's about the garden, folks. So what I've got here are my favourite bags. Now, obviously they're still in the clean skin. They're going to go into a label bag shortly. Don't worry about the dogs just pushing in. That's Leia taking over. Sit down, 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 roll over, down, sit. That's it, good girl, stay there. Now this is our orchard, and it doesn't apply just to orchards, folks. It can be on any tree, basically around the base of any tree in your garden. In my case, well, I've got them in rows here, and I've got grass and weeds growing underneath. So many comments I've had in the past about why are you leaving the grass growing around there? Well, it's almost impossible to stop it if I don't use a herbicide spray, and I'm not going to use one of those. So we just brush cut it down to the ground, and the next stage is feeding on top of the grass. So we've got a multi-species life going on here, so all sorts of grasses and weeds growing underneath the trees. The trees have got a much more robust, strong root system, so providing you give them enough nutrients when they need it all the time, and the moisture, they shouldn't have a problem growing. They may be a little bit slower than a tree, let's say, that has absolutely nothing to compete against, but at the end of the day, it's not a race here to get to the size, it's the quality that you want from your plants from day dot when you plant them. Now these have been in the ground for 2 or 3 years, maybe more, I've lost count, but nevertheless, what we do every 3 months, I should say, and more so in spring, summertime, is give them a feed. Now the way I do it in winter is top dress straight over this area. If there's mulch on the ground, leave it there. If there's grass, make sure you cut it right down. If it's only a couple of weeds, well, you can pull them out as well. But in my case, as you can see, we've brush cut it right down to the ground, and I'm going to layer it. This is our trifecta. What I mean by that is our planting mix, our compost, and our cocoa. I combine all three in a layering effect, and then mulch it on top, and a good watering to get the results. First up is the cocoa. That's what we start off on the base, and depending on the age of the tree, you can go with 1 bag or 2 bags, even more if you like, if they're older trees, but 1 bag on a tree of this age, about 4 or 5 years old, is plenty of each grade, that is. So here, oh, we've got some grass growing in there. So here I've got 1 bag of cocoa. Look how nice and fluffy this is. Now this stuff here is renowned for retaining moisture and airflow at the same time, so it stops the ground from getting boggy. So you can see 1 bag, almost a square metre, if you spread it out evenly. And every time you do layer, make sure you go further out, not just over the canopy of the tree. So spread it out a bit further if you can, and sometimes you might need 2 bags or 3 bags of each to do that. Next, on top of that, we add our compost. Now, the aim here is obviously to get the wonderful organic matter into the ground, or to seep through and help feed the microbes in the soil and populate them. Now with the compost and the cocoa, in the past I said just layer it over the top, you don't have to rake it in or anything like that. But from trials that I've done, I actually find it to be even more, oh look at this, cookies, you gotta love that. So that's little pockets of microbes and, you know, colonies developing in there. So what I've done of recent times is, rather than just sprinkling it over the top, I've used my little cultivator and just done a little blend. If you've got existing grass or weeds underneath that you have shaved down or cut down, and they start to appear a little bit, don't worry too much. Yes, they'll take off, but so will your trees come in springtime. Then on top of the cocoa and the compost, we put our popular planting mix. Now this stuff's got everything in it, folks. And just remember, I did tell you that we are going into a label bag. The first of the 3 bags have been printed. The other ones are coming in the next few days as well. So early next week, late next week, we should have them. So take advantage now. If you want to stock up in this stuff, it's on special while they're still in the clean skin bags. Now this is our planting mix, and straight over the top like that, look at that, I've raised it about 100 mil comfortably, and I've gone about, I suppose, 80 centimetres almost all the way around to a metre, actually a bit more, that's right. So it's longer this way because that's in the row. And each time as I layer, these rows are going to get wider and wider, the composting that is, because as the tree grows, I want the roots to grow out as well. So I don't want them to be contained just in this little space there. They need to grow out and anchor down properly, and that way we've got a full-fledged tree that's got the ability to look after itself with very little attention given by us, besides a feed. So the planting mix is down now. Now once you've done that, you need to hydrate it. I haven't got my hose here, I've got irrigation underneath. So imagine that I've just irrigated all this and hydrated it well, purely for the demonstration. On top of this, now you have a choice. You can go with fresh new bark, go with composted bark, you can go with a straw if you like, and I don't recommend pebbles or anything like that. That's inorganic, so they don't decompose for you. So it's either a fresh bark, which I prefer you to actually use an aged bark. So if it's for visual appeal, by all means use a fresh bark, but try and get some aged bark underneath before you top dress it for a finished look. I've got some aged bark here that I've been keeping aside in a stockpile for about a year now, and it's starting to decompose beautifully. Have a look at this. Now this bark is slowly breaking down. You can see the little bit of white stuff, that's the mycelium that's developing in the bark itself. That's quite evident. It's sort of like little white specks, and if you leave it untouched, it actually multiplies and covers over a large area. So that little stuff there, the white stuff that you see appearing, is the fungi that's developing, and that mycelium is the network of microbes that are going to start feeding and breaking down this wonderful medium. Not only that, we've got the butchie boys, hey? They're all in here, the little composters. They're bloody amazing. So they're doing their job as well. So you can see them fluffing around in the mulch here, so they'll be breaking it down for us just even quicker than the mycelium will, working it through. So spread this over the top. Obviously keep the trunk a little bit low as far as the mulch is concerned. You can create a little well if you like to, but it shouldn't have to sit there and hold moisture for you. It should soak right through immediately as you apply it. Now this is in a bag form, folks, so if you've only got a few trees and you want to top dress them, by all means use a bag. For me, well, that's one down, a couple of 100 trees to go. I ain't doing it by the bags, I'm doing it by the bulk. So feed your trees cocoa, compost blended together, planting mix on top, and an aged bark on top of that, and make sure you hydrate it really well. And I tell you, come springtime, your trees are going to love you. If you want to get yourself some of our triple packs, they're available on our website, vasilisgarden.com, folks. And remember, we're giving away a Lowe's number 5 anvil pruners with a pocket pouch, which is a pruning pouch and a sharpening tool as well, worth over 120 bucks. Free to everybody, well, not to everybody, to 6 lucky winners. We're going to draw out on Sunday. So you got till Saturday midnight to shop online to be in the draw for a chance to win one of those 6 packs that we're giving away. Plus, on Saturday, we're running a special on our outlets, or through our outlets, Dandenong North, KC Gardens and Fountains Galore. So look them up on our stockers page. They're all running a 20% off the entire range of Vasilis products. So you can pop down there, shop directly from the store and save yourself an extra 20% off the marked price. All that and vasilisgarden.com. From me, Vasili, Maresi.